The drama inside Westminster didn't just start, it exploded. Out of nowhere, the calm corridors of Parliament transformed into a full-blown political earthquake. Staffers were literally sprinting like something historic had just detonated. Ministers were being yanked out of lunch meetings, dragged into secretive rooms, and everyone's phone was buzzing nonstop. It was chaos mixed with panic, mixed with that unmistakable, "Oh no, something big just happened," energy. And trust me, this wasn't some tiny policy update. This was a shockwave that shook the entire building from the inside out, because word was spreading, and fast, that the UK government had done something absolutely unprecedented. Parliament had moved not to question, not to review, not to delay, but to literally block Meghan Markle's brand new business empire. Yes, block it. A full stop, a complete freeze. And for a moment, even the most seasoned political reporters were standing there like, wait, what? This wasn't a minor regulatory hiccup. This was Parliament stepping directly into the Another fired back, saying Parliament was panicking and passing legislation they didn't even understand. It was messy, heated, and honestly, embarrassingly dramatic. Because the truth, the real truth, was simple. Meghan's business empire had gotten too big for them to comfortably ignore. We're talking projected billion-dollar valuations, Hollywood collaborations, international product lines, and a launch event practically around the corner. Parliament went into hit the brakes before the train leaves the station mode. Across London, journalists were scrambling so desperately for confirmation that newsrooms looked like disaster zones. Emails, texts, calls, everything was exploding at once. Reporters were trying to wrap their heads around the idea that Parliament was stepping in to interfere with a privately owned American-based company before the public had even seen what it was offering. Meanwhile, things in California were strangely calm, until Meghan's phone started lighting up like Christmas. First one ping, then 3, then 10, then her entire team was suddenly drowning in calls. It erupted. Hashtag Parliament vs Meghan, hashtag Sussex Empire, hashtag Let Her Build, hashtag Royal Blockade, hashtag Global Duchess. Within minutes, the online world was on fire. American news outlets blasted it everywhere. European experts weighed in. Australian shows were hosting live panels. And all this was happening before the UK even finished drafting the amendment. Investors were suddenly alert. Hollywood producers started muttering behind closed doors. Brand partners wondered if the controversy would be good for business or catastrophic. And here's the twist. Parliament's attempt to stop Meghan had actually made her brand even more powerful, more visible, and more talked about. A free marketing campaign delivered by the UK government. Absolutely wild. But Meghan wasn't celebrating. Not for a second. She knew better. She knew that even the faintest perception of royal conflict could destabilize everything she had spent months carefully building. Inside Westminster, MPs were scrambling, anticipating legal challenges, diplomatic fallout, public backlash, maybe even Meghan's office, usually calm and clean and filled with soft West Coast sunlight, turned into a tense war room overnight. Her advisors were drafting statements, then deleting them. Lawyers were dissecting every word of Parliament's proposed amendment, trying to anticipate every possible interpretation. PR strategists were mapping out dozens of scenarios, including the worst one, the palace taking Parliament's side, because even if nobody wanted to say it out loud, everyone in that room knew the truth. If Buckingham Palace publicly supported Parliament's move, Meghan's empire could take a hit powerful enough to rattle the whole structure. But inside the palace? Oh, it wasn't smooth sailing either. Senior courtiers were caught in their own tug of war. Some feared the monarchy would look vindictive. Blocking a former royal from building a private business would make the crown appear petty. Others were terrified that letting Meghan's empire grow unchecked could blur the lines of royal identity, something the institution protected like a sacred relic. Whoever won that internal battle would determine whether this situation turned into a calm drizzle or a full-blown royal hurricane. Meanwhile, back in the